Hi guys, my name is Masterclass and I'm the founder of the Phoenix Rising Collective. I'm an author, mindset, spiritual and personal development coach, and I help people remove subconscious blocks and self-limiting beliefs so they can step into their true power. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit different to what I've usually been putting out. Instead of all these how-tos and what to do kind of videos, today's video, I'm actually going to share something a little bit more personal. In this video, I'm going to share exactly what I did to make my manifestations come to me and into my reality. A little bit about me. I was born in the Philippines, a third world country in beautiful Southeast Asia. But yeah, my family was super poor and we were lucky to eat 3 meals a day, even if not one. And in my teens, I was living in Australia, but I found myself couch surfing through friends' homes, sleeping on park benches. I was homeless, and through most of my life, I struggled financially. And not just financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I just struggled in life in general. I had so much trauma, so many unhealed issues. I'd experienced a lot of sexual abuse, I had a really tough childhood, and I'm sure most other people can relate as well. But yeah, I basically was just living my whole life surviving rather than thriving. So I know for me, if I look back, the one thing that I did have the whole way through was a deep-seated faith. Regardless of whatever was going on in my life at the time, I just had this inner knowing and this inner feeling that I was meant for more. Sometimes this feeling really drove me crazy because it felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be, and it made me feel like, what is happening? Why is life doing this to me? What did I do to deserve this? I know I'm meant for more. Why am I not doing more? But that's all changed. And it was not an overnight process. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't just wake up one day and was like, ta-da! It has been years in the making, and now I'm in a position where I want to be able to share this with you guys and help other people that are stuck in mindsets and situations and circumstances that I once was in. So I know when I was living on the streets and sleeping on park benches, I do remember profoundly, very vividly, that before I go to sleep, I just had this voice in my head that would say, you're going to get through this. You are going to get through this, Maz. And the reason why is because you are strong enough to get through this, and you are going to help so many other people that are struggling just like you are now. Don't ask me where that voice came from. And I was 14. So I did not know anything about spirituality, the law of attraction, the divine. I didn't even believe in God. So there was just a voice. And I just had this feeling of safety, that it was going to be okay, even though at the time I was super depressed, super lost, felt like I had no one. And yeah, it was just a really tough time. But somehow this voice, this being, made me feel safe, knowing that I would get through this somehow. Now, fast forward. I'm working in a job that I absolutely hate. I'm living paycheck to paycheck and struggling. I'm in my 20s now, and I always thought earning 100 grand, having a 6-figure income was such a big deal, and I'd be so fine if I could just be a 6-figure earner and earn 100K. And so that was what I wanted to achieve at that point. Because at this point, I'd actually found out a little bit about the law of attraction. I was playing around with it. I wasn't really sure, or understood it quite that much, but hey, had nothing to lose, right? So I pretended like I made 6 figures. I acted like I made 6 figures, and even though I was living paycheck to paycheck, I used every ounce of my being to pretend and play the role of a 6-figure earner. If I went out with my friends, I wasn't sitting there counting all my money. Like, the thing is, if I knew I didn't have the money to be out, I didn't go out, because I didn't want to be feeling like in that lack and like holding onto money and not wanting to like fork out when the bill came or anything like that. But if I knew I had a little bit of money to play with, I would go out and I would not worry about it. And even if it did get to a point where I'm like, it's a bit tight, I was really trying to give this law of attraction manifestation thing a go. So I just believed that money will come back in and I would be okay. The funny thing is, I'm not quite sure how, but it always seemed to be okay. And yeah, I acted like I made 6 figures. I thought like I made 6 figures. I pretended that I made 6 figures, and I now make 6 figures, and way more than I originally manifested. Like, the goal for me was to make 10 grand a month. I basically doubled that. I like tripled my income since then. And now the money that I earn now doesn't even seem that much, whereas back then it was such a big deal. But yeah, I basically just faked it until it happened. It's like taking fake it till you make it to a whole nother level. Or, as my mentor has said before, it's faith it until you make it. Another pivotal moment of my manifestations is when I wrote my book. Prior to that, for years actually, this wasn't an overnight thing, but I started blogging and I was writing, and I had a very small audience, and even back when I had like 200 Instagram followers and no one knew my work, I'd never been published anywhere. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't even finish high school. I had no marketing skills or SEO skills or any of that. But every time I posted a YouTube video, which I actually have another channel, Maz Della Serna, but that's fitness and travel and stuff. So I've started this channel because it's a completely different niche. But yeah, and totally different audience. But I was blogging and vlogging and sharing on my platforms as if I was reaching thousands of people. And even when I wrote my book, before that, I just knew it was going to help so many people. Prior to my book even being published, I was telling everyone that I was an author. Prior to me even knowing I was going to write a book, I told everyone I met that I was a writer, I was a blogger, and that's who I was. And I acted like it. I would submit articles to magazines and publications. I would do things that a blogger would do. I would write weekly blogs. I acted, thought, felt, and pretended, kind of, if you want to use it that way. I don't know about the pretending. It's more like taking divine action. That sounds better. Taking divine action with purpose and intent. So once I learned about the law of attraction, it was more like, well, what would a writer, an author, a blogger be doing? And I started acting, thinking, and feeling like I was already one. And when I introduced myself to people, that's literally what I introduced myself as. Hey guys, I'm Maz. I'm an author. I would actually stand in front of the mirror as well, and I would, prior to my book coming out, and I would actually introduce myself as a best-selling author. And ta-da! Before I even announced my book on any of my platforms, or even to my family and friends, it debuted in the top 250 of all books on Amazon Australia, and the top 50 in the spiritual self-help category, which is the genre that it's in. And that I had no clue that that was like best-selling status until my mentor, who has written like 7 best-selling books, was like, congratulations Maz, do you know what just happened? You've hit best-selling status. And I'm like, oh my god. I just remember being like, I'm shaking. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to share those little stories there because it aligns with all the stuff that I have been speaking about, and it gives you a little bit of an insight on a more personable level. Personal level. Is personable even a word? And I am the author. I don't know. But on a more intimate level. of the journey and how I've come to know these teachings and how I know it really does work. So I guess if I can just like summarize everything I've just said, you need to just have that faith, knowing that regardless what pops up, obstacles, things will happen. If you can just believe that whatever it is that you want is going to happen, and there's just no if, buts, or maybes. You don't need to know how, because if you believe that that's what is going to happen, it doesn't even matter if we're taking detours. Sometimes roadblocks get put into our place because the universe is trying to align us into the right direction to reach our manifestation. Another time, we may not know it, but if you can just trust in the process and believe that that is going to be the outcome, it inevitably will. You just don't know it at the time. One day you will look back and be like, oh my God, I understand why all of that had to happen the way that it did. So just having that trust that it will happen, and also how you are now in this moment, if you can feel it, be it, really believe it. And I like to say fake it till you make it. There is a reason why there is that saying, but rather than fake it, it's faking it to the point where it might seem so ridiculous, but acting like it is as if, like it is bound, it's already here, it's already now. So kind of like playing a game, like if you're going to role play the person that has whatever it is you want. And if you do that enough, somehow that faking it, that lie, that make-believe role play just happens, because you're taking all the steps that that person that has it would do. And if you're taking those steps that will reach you towards whatever it is that you want, it kind of just will be. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I don't want to ramble on too long, but I hope you got some value out of this video, and I hope it really did make sense, so that in a way that you can understand without all the mumbo jumbo, because I know for me, I didn't quite get it when I was watching videos and reading books about the law of attraction. And now that I'm living it and I've lived it and I'm experiencing it and I understand it so much more, I just wanted to be able to share it with you in a way that you can understand. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and hit the big red button and hit subscribe down below so you can join my little community and learn more tips, tricks, and anything that I'd like to share about law of attraction, spirituality, and personal development. But until next time.